You feel the pull in your gut, a slow, simmering tension that tells you ordinary life is no longer an option. There's a roar inside you, demanding you answer a higher call. I've experienced that same hunger, that restless push to break out of mediocrity. But understand this, the craving for a tougher path isn't a random impulse. It's a sign of transformation. Today, you'll learn how to train your mind to embrace and even crave what most people run from. By the end of this, you won't just tolerate hard things, you'll be addicted to the challenge, hungry for the burn that forges iron strength. Far too many people tiptoe around discomfort, hoping they can sidestep their struggles. They hide behind shortcuts, distractions, and endless scrolls, thinking they can cheat the process of self-mastery. But you know better, or you wouldn't be here. You sense that the path to genuine power involves standing in the fire, letting it refine you. Every fiber of your being craves an existence that's sharper, bolder, forged in heat most will avoid. Think about those moments when you felt truly alive, when your body shook from exertion, when your mind raced at the edge of possibility. Remember that heightened awareness, the thrill of pushing beyond your known limits. That's the point where life transitions from mundane to electric. And yet most people back away from that threshold because pain and uncertainty terrify them. You, however, will learn to run toward it. We often believe that discipline is a dull, grinding chore. But imagine if your mind leaped at discipline the way it craves sugar or comfort. That shift in perspective is possible. Yes, it'll take rewiring your neural pathways, literally training your brain to prefer the sting of effort over the lull of ease. And once you accomplish that, you become lethal in the arena of personal growth. When your brain is programmed to crave difficulty, it starts seeking out challenges on autopilot. You'll wake up itching to test your limits in all domains: physical training, mental endurance, emotional resilience. It won't be forced. It'll feel as natural as breathing. Most people can't fathom that reality. They're conditioned to avoid stress, so they stagnate. But your conditioning is about to change. This isn't a magic trick. It's psychology. Over time, the human brain adapts to whatever signals you feed it. Indulge in constant comfort, and your brain becomes addicted to it, flinching at any hint of pain. But intentionally dose yourself with healthy adversity, micro challenges that stretch your capacity, and your brain rewires itself. The process demands consistency, but the payoff is extraordinary. You become unstoppable. Right now, you might question if you have the will to follow through. You do, if you decide that nothing matters more than this metamorphosis. And it isn't just about personal glory. It's about living a life that calls out the best in you. The alternative is a slow decay into irrelevance. Comfort eating away at your potential, leaving you hollow, untested, and uninspired. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is your greatest ally when used correctly. That ache in your muscles after a brutal workout is the proof of growth. The mental strain of learning a new skill under pressure is the hallmark of cognitive expansion. By embracing these signals as badges of honor, you reframe discomfort as a catalyst, not a barrier. We live in a world of illusions, constant marketing telling you everything should be easy and instant. But behind every true champion, there's a love affair with the grind. They love the early mornings, the sweat, the bruises, because each moment of struggle marks one more layer of character built. You can step onto that path at any time. It starts with a simple but radical choice. Seek the hard way. When the alarm buzzes at an ungodly hour, the old you might cringe, but the newly conditioned you will feel a subtle jolt of excitement. Waking up early isn't just a chore, it's an act of dominion over your weaker impulses. Each time you get up, the muscle of discipline flexes, and your brain gets another message. We do hard things because we crave growth. Every repetition of a workout set, every extended study session, every time you grit your teeth and push past your comfort zone, it's data. Data you're feeding your own mind. Your brain in all its complexity is looking for patterns. If you consistently present it with difficult tasks and pair them with a sense of accomplishment or pride, it will start seeking that feeling again and again. But let's not sugarcoat the process. Early on, your mind will resist. It will whisper that you've done enough, that tomorrow is a better day, that nobody cares anyway. This is where your internal commander steps in. You must speak to your own mind with authority. No, this is who I am now. I don't shy away from the struggle. I crave it. The first few times, it'll feel forced. Your body might revolt. Your mind might scream for the old comforts, but you press on day after day until the unfamiliar becomes familiar. Eventually, the very things that once intimidated you turn into your source of energy. That's the essence of rewiring, forging a craving for what most people avoid. There's a deep psychological satisfaction in beating your own doubts. Each day you carve out time to tackle a challenge. Instead of running from it, you're effectively telling your old limitations to step aside. You break the pattern of avoidance. And the more you do it, the more your brain associates hard with rewarding. Before long, it's not a fight, it's a natural drive. Consider the compounding effect. A single push-up might mean nothing by itself, but a daily ritual of pushing yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally adds up. It's like depositing grit tokens into a bank. Over time, you accumulate a massive reserve of resilience that you can spend on bigger dreams. This is how you move from mere participant to master of your destiny. Listen closely. The world respects those who've battled themselves and won. It senses your self-conquest, even without you advertising it. There's an aura, a presence that emanates from someone who consistently leans into adversity. People gravitate toward that energy because it's rare. Most folks crumble under discomfort, so when they see someone who thrives in it, they can't help but take notice. But this transformation isn't just about external respect. It's about the unshakable self-belief that grows inside you when you consistently do the hard thing. You develop a grounded confidence that no one can steal because it's rooted in evidence. You've seen your own capacity to endure, to overcome. Doubts from others fade into white noise when you hold that unbreakable inner proof. Reflect for a moment. How different would your life look if you actively sought out the tasks that scare you? How many doors would open if you refused to shy away from the challenges everyone else avoids? That reality is waiting, but it demands a new identity. One that isn't content with the path of least resistance, one that wakes up hungry to confront the toughest battles first. Creating that identity involves killing off the weaker version of you, the one that clings to comfort and begs for breaks. It's a ruthless process, akin to shedding old skin. You might feel exposed, raw, uncertain, but out of that vulnerability, you'll emerge tougher, sharper, more driven. This is a rebirth, and birth is never a gentle affair. You might wonder if everyone is even capable of this shift. The answer is yes. Anyone who chooses it can achieve it. Your brain, your body, your soul are malleable. They adapt to what you repeatedly demand of them. So demand more. Demand that your brain sees a punishing workout and thinks, let's go, or spots a marathon study session and says, bring it on. The threshold of pain is personal. What seems difficult to one person might be a warm-up for another. That's irrelevant. Focus on your own threshold and push it little by little, day after day. You're not competing with anyone else. You're competing with the version of you that used to flinch at the slightest sign of stress. Beat that person by a tiny margin today and watch your threshold grow. Observe the patterns of high achievers throughout history. They didn't shy away from adversity. They made it a friend. Soldiers who volunteer for the most grueling assignments, athletes who train beyond exhaustion, artists who obsessively perfect their craft, none of them are strangers to struggle. They've conditioned themselves to crave that edge because it's the only place where growth explodes. You can do the same with your daily life. Don't be afraid to elevate the difficulty. Whether it's carrying groceries without a cart, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, or challenging yourself to an extra hour of deliberate practice, these might seem insignificant, but they add up. You're sending a relentless signal to your brain. We don't take shortcuts. We go the harder route by choice. When you catch yourself hesitating, that's your cue. Hesitation is the first step toward surrender. Train yourself to jump at the moment of hesitation. If you think about working out but feel the urge to procrastinate, move. If you consider speaking up but fear rejection, speak. By acting during hesitation, you're reprogramming your wiring to treat indecision as the green light to go harder. Let's talk about pain management. When you're pushing your physical or mental limits, pain starts shouting in your mind. That's when most people tap out. But once you recognize pain as a crucial messenger telling you that you're on the brink of breakthrough, you stop panicking. Instead, you learn to ride that wave of discomfort, trusting that beyond it lies a surge of triumph. Each time you work through pain, you expand your capacity for it. The next time you face a challenge, it doesn't feel quite as daunting. That's the beauty of progressive overload, applied not just to muscles, but to your entire being. Pain becomes less of a threat and more of a guideline for real growth. You begin to trust your ability to endure, which is the bedrock of craving hard things. You'll notice something remarkable the further you go. The tasks that once seemed brutal become your new normal. Waking up early becomes automatic. Intense training feels standard, and deep work sessions flow naturally. But that's not the time to rest on your laurels. It's the time to raise the bar again. Because if you settle, you lose the edge. You must keep pushing that edge outward. Ego has no place in this journey. An inflated ego is fragile, terrified of failure, unwilling to look weak. But real strength thrives on humility. You must be willing to struggle openly, to look clumsy, to risk failure in order to push your boundaries. In that vulnerability, you discover a hidden reserve of power that an arrogant heart will never find. Sometimes you'll stumble upon obstacles that feel insurmountable. Maybe it's a physical plateau, a mental block, or an emotional barrier. When that happens, don't shrink. Double down. Take a step back, strategize, and attack again. This relentless pursuit sends a new message to your brain. Nothing is off limits, no challenge is too big, and we don't stop until we break through. A curious byproduct of craving hard things is that everyday frustrations start to fade. Small inconveniences lose their power over you. Why? Because your threshold for discomfort is so high that minor irritations barely register. Suddenly, what used to annoy or anger you becomes trivial. You are occupying a higher plane of resilience, one that trivializes petty discomforts. Can you imagine the freedom in that? While others lose themselves in stress over small setbacks, you remain calm. You voluntarily walk the path of greater difficulty, so when lesser challenges appear, they're child's play. That calm translates to confidence, and that confidence translates to success in any arena you choose. It's a ripple effect that starts with intentionally seeking out what's hard. Even your relationships transform. When your friends, colleagues, or family see you consistently challenging yourself, they begin to respect you in a new way. Some might be inspired to rise with you. Others might feel threatened and fall away. Both outcomes are necessary. Surrounding yourself with people who embrace challenge creates an ecosystem that perpetuates growth. It's a silent but powerful filter. Let's address the mental aspect. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you repeatedly feed yourself defeatist or fearful thoughts, your brain will resist adversity. But if you narrate your struggles as a heroic journey, your brain aligns with that vision. Talk to yourself like a warrior. Remind yourself that you were made for the uphill battle. Over time, those words become unshakable truth. Yes, you'll meet critics. They'll label you obsessed or extreme. Let them talk. Most criticism stems from jealousy or misunderstanding. People who settle for comfort can't fathom why anyone would chase difficulty, but you're done living by other people's limitations. The old you might have shrunk back in fear of judgment. The new you welcomes it as further proof you're on the right track. Don't mistake craving hard things for masochism. This isn't about unnecessary suffering or self-punishment. It's about purposeful strain that elevates you. There's a difference between random chaos and structured challenge. One drains you, the other refines you. Pursue the latter with unwavering focus. Your mind and body will adapt, forging a sharper edge every single day. Turn your daily to-do list into a daily challenge list. Rather than aim to merely accomplish tasks, aim to conquer them in the most rigorous way that still fosters growth. If you have a distance to run, aim for that extra mile. If you have a book to read, tackle that extra chapter. Push the boundary. Make it standard practice to ask, can I make this harder in a beneficial way? Visualize your future self. Calmer, stronger, more focused, unafraid of the hard road. That person is not a figment of imagination. They're a direct byproduct of your current actions. Each challenging thing you do is a stitch in the tapestry of that future identity. The day will come when you look in the mirror and realize you've become exactly the person you once admired from afar. Your brain loves novelty. Use that to your advantage. If running is your go-to challenge, switch it up with cycling or swimming occasionally. If you're used to weightlifting alone, add a form of high-intensity interval training or martial arts. Keep your brain guessing. That sense of freshness keeps you engaged, ensuring you don't slip into a rut. Keep surprising yourself with new mountains to climb. Mental friction is gold. Whenever you catch your mind groaning, "This is too hard, I don't want to do it," that's the sweet spot. Instead of giving in, lean in. That groan is your old conditioning rearing up in self-defense. Every time you push through that mental barrier, you tear down an old limitation. That's how you systematically rewrite your brain's preference for challenge. It's easy to assume some people are just born with a craving for difficulty, but that's mostly myth. Yes, personality traits differ, but no one is born disciplined or addicted to hardship. It's learned, cultivated, repeated, and once ingrained, it appears natural. You can cultivate it too, starting today. Your only barrier is the lie that it can't be done. Recall the times in your past when you tackled something hard and came out triumphant. Maybe it was an exam you studied for relentlessly, a race you trained for, or a project you poured your heart into. Relive that moment. Feel how your heart surged with pride and relief. That's the feeling you're chasing daily now, because that feeling is more intoxicating than any fleeting comfort. What if you treated every day like a battlefield, a place where complacency stands no chance? The moment your feet hit the floor, you declare war on the part of you that prefers the couch, the snooze button, the easy road. That small morning victory sets the tone. And with each subsequent hard task, you drive another nail into the coffin of your old lazy self. This mindset isn't about punishing yourself, it's about finding joy in the process. Don't forget to celebrate your wins, no matter how small. When you successfully do something that was tough and mentally draining, acknowledge it. Revel in that post-battle feeling. Your brain will soak up that sense of accomplishment, reinforcing the craving for the next challenge. As time goes on, you'll notice you have less sympathy for excuses, both yours and others. It's not that you become heartless. You just see excuses for what they really are, an attempt to dodge the necessary pain of growth. You'll catch your own excuses the moment they form, and you'll cut them off. That's the discipline muscle flexing, and it feels powerful. Preparation is also key. If you know you'll be facing a grueling task, be it a tough meeting, a public speech, a physically demanding feat, prepare intentionally. Plan your rest, your nutrition, your mindset. Show up armed to the teeth so you can give your absolute best. This ritual of preparation feeds into your craving for the challenge because you know you'll be ready to dominate. The body follows where the mind leads. If your mind is uncertain, your body will hesitate. But if your mind is laser focused on conquering adversity, your body will surprise you with untapped strength. That synergy is the essence of real power. You command your mind to want the hard route, and your body responds with newfound energy, stamina, and resilience. When you slip, and you will slip, don't let it unravel your progress. Maybe you missed a workout or gave in to a lazy day. Acknowledge it, analyze why, and then correct your course. Do not indulge in self-criticism or shame. Instead, view it as data, another piece of evidence that highlights a weak spot you need to reinforce. That's how a champion thinks. Carve out time daily for introspection. Meditate or journal about your progress. Are you actively seeking the hard path or just going through the motions? This reflection keeps you aligned with your goal of rewiring your brain. It's easy to get caught up in routine and forget the bigger picture. So anchor yourself regularly, reminding your mind of the mission. Crave what most avoid. And yes, this mission will isolate you from the crowd, but that's the point. The crowd takes the easy route. The crowd remains average, complaining about life's hardships while avoiding the means to overcome them. Standing out means you're willing to invest in daily struggle, an investment that yields a treasure few others will ever possess. Genuine, unshakable self-mastery. Reflect on your environment. Does it encourage or hinder your pursuit of hard things? Are you surrounded by enablers who feed your excuses, or do you have a circle of warriors who push you forward? Sometimes your immediate environment is toxic to growth. If that's the case, fortify your internal environment first, your mindset, and seek allies on a similar path. Your environment can be redesigned. You'll reach a point where you don't just endure difficult tasks, you get restless without them. An idle day feels incomplete. Your brain will crave the adrenaline, the focus, the sense of accomplishment. That's when you know you've crossed the threshold into the realm of those who treat life as a gym, not a lounge. And in that realm, the impossible starts looking more and more possible. Remember, it's not about reckless risk-taking. Challenge must be deliberate and calculated. You push your limits but avoid self-destruction. It's a dance between discomfort and discipline, a fine line that yields maximum growth without unnecessary injury or burnout. Master that dance, and you'll find you can maintain this pace for a lifetime. Let's talk about the mental fortress you're building. Once your brain is hooked on doing hard things, stress from external sources begins to pale in comparison to the voluntary adversity you embrace. A tough deadline at work? Child's play compared to the daily battles you wage against your own limitations. This fortress of resilience can't be toppled by life's random storms. And it's not just about coping, it's about thriving. You'll find that stress can actually sharpen your focus. You'll harness it like a blade, wielding tension as a tool rather than a curse. Most flee from stress. You seek it, tame it, channel it. That's the hallmark of someone who doesn't just talk about transformation but lives it. When you align your behaviors with craving hard things, something magical happens to your sense of self-worth. No longer do you rely on external validation. Your worth becomes self-generated, powered by the knowledge that you meet adversity head-on. People's opinions, whether good or bad, lose their sway. You stand rooted in a self-esteem that's built upon real evidence of your grit. Be cautious with complacency. After a series of wins, you might be tempted to relax. But crave means an ongoing appetite. You don't eat once and call it a day. You feed continuously. Similarly, your hunger for challenges must be fed daily. The moment you skip feeding it, you start losing the edge. Keep fueling that appetite with fresh goals and bigger dreams. Don't underestimate the power of incremental gains. One more push-up, one more page read, one more phone call made. These tiny increments fuse together like rivets in a steel beam. It's the difference between a life that coasts and a life that ascends. Each day you add a fraction of discomfort, you push your threshold a fraction higher. Multiply that fraction by months and years, and you become extraordinary. You'll encounter naysayers who claim that seeking hardship is unhealthy or obsessive. Know the difference between self-improvement and self-harm. If you're challenging yourself in a disciplined, purposeful way, you're fortifying mind, body, and spirit. If you're blindly punishing yourself, that's a different story. Maintain wisdom and balance, but never let fear-driven warnings slow your progress toward real transformation. Visual metaphors can help cement this mindset. Picture a swordsmith hammering red-hot steel. Each strike seems cruel, but it's shaping the blade into a lethal edge. That's you. The hammer is the adversity you willingly face. The heat is your discomfort, and the final blade is your transformed identity, razor sharp, unyielding, and ready to slice through any obstacle life throws your way. The critical difference between you and the majority lies in your willingness to orchestrate your own adversity. Life will throw challenges at you regardless, but you're not waiting. You're stepping forward to meet them, even creating your own. This proactive stance rewires your brain to see challenges as part of your daily diet, not as rare disruptions you dread. Don't shy away from mental challenges either, like tackling complex problems or learning new skills that stretch you. Physical pain is tangible, but mental strain is just as powerful. Solve the tough puzzles, read the dense books, engage in intellectual sparring. As your mind acclimates to mental exertion, it too begins to crave the heat of a good mental workout. You'll also notice your emotional fortitude growing. Situations that once triggered panic or anxiety will now feel more manageable. Why? Because you've grown accustomed to navigating discomfort. Emotions are intense, but they're also fleeting. The more you expose yourself to emotional strain, such as public speaking or confronting personal truths, the more you learn to handle the internal storm with steady composure. Onlookers will notice a shift in your aura. They might not be able to name it, but they'll sense a newfound determination in your step, a blazing fire in your eyes. That's the external manifestation of an internal transformation. And it's not something you can fake. You've earned it by making hard choices daily, even when nobody's watching. You might wonder, how do I sustain this for the long haul? The secret is to find deep joy in the journey. It's not about grim, teeth-clenched endurance. It's about tapping into that moment of transcendence when you break a barrier you thought was impenetrable. That euphoria is addictive. Let it fuel you. Let it remind you why you started, and let it keep you pushing forward. Carving out moments of stillness is equally important. Hard work is crucial, but so is intentional recovery. That recovery isn't a retreat from challenge, but a time to absorb its lessons. Meditation, stretching, or a peaceful walk can be as pivotal as the grind. In those quiet moments, your mind weaves the day's struggles into the fabric of your evolving identity. Embrace the principle of one more. When you think you've reached your limit, do one more rep, write one more page, spend one more minute refining your craft. That extra effort signals to your brain that limits are fluid, that you can always push a bit beyond where you thought you'd stop. Over time, one more becomes your habit, and suddenly, what was once your ceiling becomes your new floor. When fear shows up, and it will, face it with curiosity, not dread. Fear is simply energy, a biochemical reaction meant to help you survive. Use that energy to sharpen your focus. Ask yourself, what exactly am I afraid of? 9 times out of 10, the fear is intangible or magnified by your imagination. Shine a light on it, then press forward anyway. Overcoming fear is a potent way to reinforce your craving for difficulty. Each victory over fear rewires your brain to interpret fear as an invitation to grow rather than a warning to retreat. That shift in mindset is monumental. It transforms fear from a stop sign into a green light. Suddenly, everything you once avoided becomes an opportunity to level up. Acknowledge that this journey is a privilege. Being able to voluntarily choose challenges means you have the freedom and capacity to grow. Many people remain trapped in a life so constrained that challenges are forced upon them, leaving them with little room for voluntary hardship. You, on the other hand, can direct your adversity, channel it, and harness it for unparalleled personal evolution. Don't search for applause. Applause is fleeting and can lead to complacency. Seek internal approval. The quiet nod you give yourself when you know you gave everything you had. That's worth more than any external praise. Over time, you'll find that this internal compass guides you better than the opinions of others, keeping you aligned with your mission to crave challenges. When you hit a rut, which happens to everyone, shift strategies. If your workout routine grows stale, find a new challenge that reignites the spark. If your mind is dull, read a different genre of books or tackle a complex problem. The key is to remain dynamic, never settling. Craving hard things is about never letting your hunger for growth starve. Think of your life as a never-ending training camp. Each day you build discipline, mental fortitude, emotional intelligence. You're not training for a singular event. This is training for the grand marathon called life. Every hardship you conquer becomes a skill in your toolkit, ready to be deployed whenever life throws a curveball. And life will throw plenty. People will ask you how you do it. They'll marvel at your discipline, your relentless drive. They'll assume you have superhuman willpower. Let them wonder. You know the truth. You systematically rewired your brain to crave the grind, and you fed that craving daily until it became second nature. You went from avoiding pain to pursuing it for the sake of expansion. The day you realize you're no longer intimidated by big challenges, you'll feel a sense of emancipation. Whether it's launching a new business, pursuing a new career, or transforming your body, the mental conversation shifts from "can I do this" to "how can I do this?" That question is empowering. It focuses on solutions, fueling your desire to tackle the next mountain. Remember, your journey is a beacon for others trapped in the cycle of avoidance. By openly embracing tough tasks, you show them what's possible. That doesn't mean preaching or bragging. It means living a life so bold and committed that it naturally inspires. Your example might be the spark someone else needs to break free and follow your lead. In moments of doubt, revisit your why. Why did you decide to embark on this path of challenge? Perhaps you wanted to break generational limitations, or maybe you needed to prove to yourself you're more than your circumstances. Let that why burn in your mind. Let it fuel you when exhaustion begs you to quit. Let it remind you that your mission is bigger than momentary discomfort. It's time to reject the idea that craving difficulty is unnatural. History's greatest figures, from warriors to inventors, thrived on it. Our ancestors survived by enduring unspeakable hardships just to exist. Our modern comforts have dulled that edge, but it's in your DNA. By reigniting that ancestral flame, you reclaim a primal strength that modern life tries to smother. When you catch yourself feeling proud of your progress, and you will, channel that pride into your next move. Pride should not breed arrogance. It should breed commitment. You've proven you can handle more than you ever thought. Now raise the standard again. The cycle never ends because mastery is an infinite horizon. Each peak you conquer reveals another, higher peak beyond. Don't fear burning out if you manage your resources wisely. Balance intense effort with strategic recovery. Hydrate your body, rest your muscles, still your mind when needed. This is not the same as avoiding challenges. It's ensuring you're primed to crush them. A warrior who never rests becomes weak, but a warrior who rests purposefully returns to battle sharper and more formidable than ever. Now, as you stand on the brink of this new identity, feel the power coursing through your veins. You're no longer someone who dreads the tough path. You're the one who runs toward it. This moment isn't just an ending. It's the ignition of a lifetime habit, an unquenchable thirst for what most people dodge. Embrace that thirst. Satisfy it daily by seeking, finding, and conquering the challenges that scare you. Let the echo of your footsteps on this new road serve as a warning to mediocrity. You will not fade into the background. You will not cower at the sight of obstacles. You have learned to crave the burn, to hunger for the heat of adversity, and each step further solidifies that truth. Keep walking, keep pushing, keep craving, and watch the old version of you disappear in the distance. See this moment as a birth, not a phase. You've shed the skin of timidity, stepping fully into a life fueled by challenges. There is no fallback plan, no halfway measure. It's you versus your highest potential every single day. Most people only skim the surface of their capabilities. You dive deep into the unknown, forging your soul in ways that defy conventional comfort. Soon you'll awaken to the sound of your alarm and feel a surge of excitement, because it's another day to chase the hard path. Most will never understand it. They'll keep avoiding the uphill climb, waiting for a magic solution that never arrives. Not you. You're already moving, heart pounding, eyes set on the next summit, anticipating that sweet rush of hitting new heights. Pause for a breath right now and check in with yourself. That energy coursing through your body is the resonance of purpose. You're no longer stuck in the loop of aimless days. You have clarity. Adversity is your ally. Discipline is your shield. And the craving for hard things is the driving force that sets your life ablaze. This is who you are now, and it feels unstoppable. The time for half measures is over. From this moment forward, you face life with a fierce appetite for what's difficult, for what others dodge. You stoke that fire every day, letting each challenge fuel your next triumph. This is not the end of your journey. It's the turning point where you become the kind of person who seeks hardship for the sake of growth. Now go. Crave what most avoid. Seize the pain. Earn your evolution and never look back. And if this message hit the part of you that refuses to quit, subscribe now, because this is exactly where that evolution begins.